listeners, before we start our art project, I wanted to share a story with you about a very unique individual, Elmer, the elephant that was like none of the other elephants. And he learned that being different could be a good thing. Right, Boots? Boots wants to be part of the story. Elmer by David McKee. Well, come on up here, baby. Elmer by David McKee. There once was a herd of elephants. Elephants young, elephants old, elephants tall, elephants short, fat and thin. All were different, but all were happy, and almost all were the same color. All except for Elmer. Elmer was not elephant color. He was patchwork color. He was yellow and orange and red and pink and purple and blue and green and black and white. Wow, my cats are fascinated with Elmer. It was Elmer who kept the other elephants happy. Their games and jokes were always his idea. If an elephant was laughing, the cause was usually because of Elmer. But Elmer himself wasn't happy. Whoever heard of a patchwork elephant, he thought. No wonder they laugh at me. One morning, just as the others were waking up, Elmer slipped away. As he walked through the jungle, Elmer met other animals. Good morning, Elmer, they said. After a long walk, Elmer found what he was looking for, a large bush that was covered with elephant-colored berries. Elmer caught a hold of the bush and shook it until the berries fell onto the ground. Then Elmer lay down and he rolled over on the berries, this way and that way. He picked up bunches of berries and he rubbed himself all over until he was covered with berry juice. When he had finished, there wasn't a sign of any yellow or orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white. Elmer looked like any other elephant. On his way back through the jungle, Elmer passed the other animals. Good morning, elephant, they said. When Elmer rejoined the herd, none of the other elephants noticed him. As he stood there, Elmer felt that something was wrong. But what? He looked around. Same old jungle. Same old blue sky. Same old rain cloud. Same old elephants. The other elephants were standing absolutely still, silent, and serious. Elmer had never seen them so serious before. It made him want to laugh. Oh, stop it, you two. Finally, he could bear it no longer. He lifted his trunk and at the top of his voice, he shouted, "Boo!" The other elephants jumped in surprise. Elmer was helpless with laughter. Then the others began to laugh. Too bad that Elmer isn't here to share the fun. They laughed harder and harder. And then the rain cloud burst. When the rain fell on Elmer, his patchwork started to show again. "Oh, Elmer," gasped an old elephant as Elmer was washed back to normal. "You've played some good jokes, but this This has been the biggest laugh of all. What would we do without you? We must celebrate this day every year, said another. It'll be the day of Elmer's best joke. All of us elephants will decorate ourselves in his honor, said the third. And Elmer, he'll decorate himself elephant color. And one day, each year, the elephants color themselves yellow or orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white and have a parade. If you happen to see an elephant in the Elmer's Day Parade that is just ordinary elephant color, you will know that certainly must be Elmer. Look at all those beautiful colors and patterns. See if you can get an idea, because we're going to make some beautiful patterns. Patterns can be with flowers, or spots, or stripes, or squares, or stars. Ooh, look at this one, squiggly lines. So many different patterns to pick from. And that, my friends, is the story of Elmer the Elephant. Okay, kindergartners, so the first thing we're going to do for our Elmer project is we are going to take a sheet of paper. It's 8.5 by 11. This is paper you can get out of the copier, and we are going to trace our hands on it 2 times. My hands are pretty big, so I have to really work at it, but your hands will probably fit on there really well. I'm just going to put a hand down, and I'm going to tell my fingers to hold still, and I'm going to trace around each finger. Don't let them move. And if you have someone to help you, that is super handy to do. Now, when I get to the bottom, I'm going to pick up my hand, and then I will finish the bottom like so, okay? And I'm going to trace my hand a second time. I'll put it on there, and again, you want to hold it nice and still. Jasper wants me to trace his paw too, don't you, buddy? So I'm going to hold my hand very still, trace around each finger, taking my time. I don't want to overlap my other elephant. And then when I get down to the bottom, I pick it up and I finish. And I have 2 handprints on there. And then we're going to turn it over to do our pattern on the other side. So the next thing we're going to do is add a pattern to the other side. Now that you have your hands traced, turn your paper over. We're going to get out your markers and we're going to make a pattern. Now, your pattern can be like Elmer's, which is a patchwork quilt style with squares, or you can come up with your own pattern. We've talked about patterns before. They can be lines. This one is papers with lines on it. They can be shapes like polka dots, triangles, or squares. And it can also be color. So we're going to use lines, shapes, and color to make our patterns. So I'm going to start with some bright, vibrant colors. And I think I'm going to make my first line a zigzag line. I'm going to put my marker on its side, and that's when it makes its fattest lines, is when I do that. I made a zigzag. And I might make another thickness, another line right next to it, just like that. Zig, zag, zig, and zag. And then I can pick another color. Let's see, how about, ooh, some purple would be nice. A zig, and a zag, a zig, and a zag. A zig, and a zag. And I like it a little bit thick, so I'm gonna do 2 lines next to each other. And I'm taking my time, because when I go fast, it doesn't work very well. So now, ooh, you know what would be fun? Some triangles. Let's make this shape right here kind of wants me to put a triangle in there, I think. Triangles in those shapes. Let's put one in there too. So I think I have just developed my pattern. I am going to do red zigzag, purple zigzag, gray triangles. And then in order to make it a pattern, we have to repeat it. So now I get out my red marker and I do the red zig, zag, and then I wanted to do 2 thicknesses, so it'll be a nice wide line, big and bold. That's what we want, because that's what Elmer was. He was different. He had a design that really stood out and made him different. So purple was the next color, and zig, zag, zig, and zag. 2 thicknesses. All right. Now I can make my little gray triangle. And since I've added my next stripe, I think I'm going to add triangles going this way, just for fun. So now I'm going to add my triangles that point in this direction. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and finish. Now, if you want to do the same pattern all the way across, that's wonderful. I, on the other hand, got a little bit bored, and halfway in the middle, I changed my pattern to something else. You can do that, but it does have to go all the way across, and we want it to be as nicely and neatly done as possible. So if your hand gets tired or you get tired of doing this, you can stop and rest for a little while and then come back to it later. That way we have our best artwork. All right, there we are. We have our pattern all done. So on one side you have your hand prints that you traced, and on the other you have a pattern. And that's all we're going to do for today. Give your hands a rest. They must be tired. And then part 2, we'll talk about how to go about making our elephant.